Alright, I thought this was going to be gone. This part here is going to be gone. Yep. But it's interesting how now you can see where the mall is connected to what the JCPenney building was. Because there's the entryway right there for the JCPenney. Or going to the JCPenney. What was the entryway there? Interesting how they just covered it up. But as you can see straight through now. And of course there's where the Dillard's was at. And the entryway and all that. The main entry all gone. Because that's on that other side right there would be the main entry and all that other stuff there. So it looks like they still have the weird walls up over here. So more of it done, more of it gone. That's just where this was the mall one time. And I can't even tell. Except for that one entry there and probably the other entry would be it. What I think is interesting is that's where the Dillard's was, the entry to the Dillard's, and the entry to the back part of the mall. And of course, straight across from that is where the main entrance would be. It's just interesting how it's pretty much long gone. So yep, so there's that little section right there. I thought this is all going to be gone by now. But yeah, so there's the entry, or what's left of the, pretty much what's not an entry, what's just an entry still, but not the with the doors of the mall there. It's just crazy. There's Dillard's there. Really crazy how it's all gone now. See all the remnants of the back part of the mall is that right there. That's it. A little section and then one little part of the wall right there. So we'll go down. So like I said, you walk that sidewalk right there on the right. Come up this road because you used to live up behind me up at 28th Drive. Yeah, very interesting. So, on next part. Yep. So the only thing that's left of the mall, and it's so funny because you can see the gray part, the triangle part, was where that fascia part was, with all the tile work and stuff on it. You see that two other entryways. So we go down by that next. With the normal rundown by here. The gate's open down here, so somebody can just cruise on in there and cruise through there on the bike. Because there's areas where they're driving trucks through there, but Sam could do that. Cruise in there, through there. Go across the front of Sears here. So this will eventually be different. It looks like there'll be windows up there, even though there's not. So it could be like a balcony right there. That's not. Yep. So here we go. Yep, they're doing stuff right now. Yep. So there's the entry. Better. It's part of the movie theater. You can tell that's the movie theater there. Sorry for being so noisy. Yeah, I think it's a movie theater still. What's left of it. I'll find out when I get around there. And you got that only part right there. See the second what's left of the mall right there. So yeah, so they took it all off around the building there. Just kind of tied into that. That's how long ago that building was done. That JCPenney's was built. Yeah, it's just crazy how that is over there. See the entry over there. Yeah, look at that. Crazy, all that metal work all there. Yeah, someone couldn't go cruising over there. No, it's a little remnant right there of the mall. I think there's some stuff up there. Somebody's hanging out up there or something. You can see a door right there. That's interesting. And then this part over here. Left of the wall over there. There's that front part where there's a pillar looks like a pillar or something, column, whatever. Yep. There's this little entryway left there. Yep. We'll go on to the next part. Go over there where the this or that, and we'll see what the front entryway now looks like. That was pretty much gone. So, all right, so we'll do a little more, and then get to the next part. That's interesting. That's the wall on the other side. What was left of the back entry. That's the wall that was on the right. And of course, over where that piece of equipment is over here, that's the one that was on the left. That's just interesting. There's nothing there anymore. Go straight through there pretty much. Around the other side. So it looks like there's gonna be more up here I'm gonna get. There's the entryways to the mall. So we finally get to that section there. So who's up here? Show you see straight through. Of course, I'll show you here in a minute where the entry was. Yeah. Yeah, because now you can see where the entry for the mall was. Right there, where the blue and almost like a blue and gold color on ours, but it's just wood. So the blue and the wood there. There's something up there. Yeah, Curves parts. That little wall section right there is what's left. I don't know what was going on with the camera there for a second. So you see through. Comes up here. Oh, there's a good part right there. Yeah, so I think that was the entry right there. That little part right there, I think it was the entry of some sort. It might have been a back door. It might be the back door area on that side. I'm not sure. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with the camera on this thing today. Yeah, so let's go up to the front here. Oh yeah, movie theater is gone now. Yep, because right there was the movie theater. So the movie theater is gone. There's one little part of it left, it looks like. Yep, one little part. And then this is the back part. Okay, so what I was thinking see is this right here. This is that back part. That one that's over by where it was started at, where they have the ding and the big old dent in the front. It's funny how that's still up. And then of course this is the other part over here. Right on the side of this pile is the other part for that other entryway over by where the Walmart is. So Walmart's right over there. Wow. That's interesting though, how you can see inside of there. That's the inside of back part of the entry above. It's the second floor right there. I don't know why my phone is doing that. The camera's doing that on this thing, getting a weird jittery like that. It keeps doing that. That is just crazy. You can see inside of that building here. I just think it's weird how they were going to keep it. But like I said, I keep saying Valley Metro is the reason I believe this went away. Because why would they have left it as a whole like that and not started down with it a long time ago? Back when they first shut it down. And then you can see as the... I'm surprised that little building, the interior of that little building now. It's weird they didn't get rid of that thing. Just a little nothing building. Weird. Looks like concrete ends there, but it doesn't. And that is interesting that that was a mall. A movie theater and a mall entry. Yep, so this wall, that wall there, and this column, and this back wall here. Which I could see that from the other side, so. It's funny, if you look at this, it looks like the mall's still in here. That's just really interesting. I look how they closed that up over there. Marked it right there. Liberizer, which is for water. But yeah, where the old trash compactor was for a lot of the restaurants from the food court. That's interesting. That's a food court. There was a food court right on the other side of this wall. That's what I think is interesting. There's a food court over here. And then you went outside the food court, went around, and JCPenney's. That is just interesting. Wow, so there's doors down there. Looks like there's something down in the bottom there. It looks like there's a door or something, like maybe a lower exit. Something. So up there doing some more work over here. I wish this thing would quit doing that weird jitteriness. It's like when I'm zoomed in, it's when it's doing it. I don't know why. Yeah, I think all they're doing is moving junk around. Just moving the stuff around. And they could be tearing anything up or tearing anything off or anything like that. So it's an interesting big hunk of steel there. So I kept saying, I was just sitting there saying to a few people, it's very interesting that when tearing this all down, whatever they don't recycle, because you've heard the brick and block and all that, a lot of that flooring and roofing materials, you see it right here, this stuff right here, all that's just going to end up in some landfill somewhere. So eventually, what's interesting, this mall is just going to be a pile, it's going to be moved somewhere else, basically. So the mall will be a pile of rubble somewhere else in a landfill. That's just interesting. So I'm kind of curious now how it looks from down there at the road. Yeah, sorry for that weird jitteriness. I don't know if this needs an update or something. But it has a trip though that's the inside of the second floor of the mall. What was left of it. Yeah, I can't get over the fencing though. Can't get in there and cruise around. Yep, and then there's Walmart over there. You can see it through back behind the metal there. That building right there in the brown there. It's Walmart right there. That's just interesting. It's just interesting that it was part of the mall. That right there is part of the mall. All this was. And then over here was Woods Park. Notice this until I came over here. This part. That's very interesting. That's interesting how that was where the whole front facade, where the tile work was. Fascia, I should say. Facade. The fascia. I think I said facade earlier too, my fascia. Where all that tile work was at. The front part of the roof. Yeah. Interesting, though. Yeah. Where's piles of rubble? You got the steel and stuff over here. Yeah, it's just interesting. Oh, I get the phone in there. You can see it better. Yeah, part of the front parking area. Actually, the road going up to the front entry of the mall is right here, where underneath all this stuff. As you can see it right there. Underneath all that. That's just weird. All the duct work, all the metal work, all the work and effort people put into building this thing. You know, all gone. Yeah. I think it's interesting how you see right over there, right through there. Yep, so I think it's interesting how this is right here, this Douglas Road right here. There's a little crosswalk thing. We used to come over because this was the entry. This is the entry, because there's that wall, and then right over and right about right there, right about where those, right about where that pile stuff is. Let me see. Yeah, right about there, where that piece is. That's where this. I think there was a vending machine, all that stuff. Yeah, there's a vending machine there. Yeah. Crazy, you can see inside of that. That's the thing. It's interesting how they kept those lights. They were on the J.C. Penney. They kind of went around the J.C. Penney right there. You see on. It's interesting how they kept those. So, all right. So we're gonna go now to the next part here. Escalator there. Yeah, so it doesn't even look like there was anything there. Doesn't even look like there was a mall there at all. The movie theater's gone pretty much. That's just part of the little back entryway there. You can see the four little column looking things there coming off the roof there. That's that back entry down where the transit is. I think that's where no, that's where the Walmart is. Walmart's over here, so that would be the one for the Walmart then. The transit one's over here, right there. Yeah. That's just interesting. This was a mall one time. All long gone. So, like I said, the only thing that's left of what looks like the mall, if I do this, right like that, it looks like the mall's still there. Looks like you just got a fence around it. And so you go over here. Then you do this. And it looks like it's just some weird little building. And it's kind of odd up here. Do a couple more shots then. You see in there, right there. Look at this. I think it was like a back entry to I don't know, don't totally know now, because everything's changed so much here. That's just really interesting that there was a mall there and almost gone. Good shot, got both the signs there. Got the two signs, Metro Center one right here, which you'll probably don't see that one there in the background. Mall's an open mall now. Yep. Yeah, those signs will be gone before too long. Probably gonna wait till to take them away. The only thing I thought was interesting, I didn't say Metro Center Mall on the sign there. It's like over here on this one, telling you what the stores are and everything. Sorry about the bus going by. So that's interesting how that right there was entry to a mall. And that section right in the middle there. That little box office thing. So between the box office thing or the ticket booth thing or whatever and that column to the left there was the entry. All gone. No more. Yeah, so it's interesting. Over here it still looks like a mall, minus the Metro Center lettering and the boarded up doors. Yeah, nothing's changed over here as you can see. Still the same thing. Get that fascia up there still, with the colors even. Like the other one, the colors are gone. So we get a little farther shot for over there between. You see, it's still kind of same. So I thought this was going to be gone by now. But we'll go over this part next. So. Yep, see that part right there. I think, I'm not sure. That might be a little tiny bit of the movie theater. For all I know, I have no idea. So that basically, that part right there is basically the section right down at the very end. That's the end section after the movie theater and all that. Right when it was gonna, right where the Bonton was, because this Bonton used to be on that, right here, where they tore it down and built the Walmart. Because inside, right on the outside of that wall, it's just sitting there saying, coming soon, Walmart. And then you can see the little triangle part where that same stuff over here was. So you can see the entryways. There's our entryway there, and then over here was the main entry. And of course, from the other side, you can see that up behind that fascia right there, on the other side. That was weird, but yeah, so that's interesting. So when you look at it like this, look at it like that, looks like there's a mall there. And if you go over here and you get a little section there. So here's that entry where they start everything. As you see those, let me zoom in a little more here. Okay. Oh. Yeah, because you see where those dents are. This is that entry they first went in through. So, here's that. You can see the second floor. See doors and stuff. Entryways there. That's interesting. You can see through. Yeah, so that's where the main entry is. Right there. Oh, sorry about that. So that part is those back exits from where the food court was. So that's exactly where the food court was. Restaurants and stuff were there. And that's the back doors to go up to the outside when they take the trash and stuff out. It might have gone to a back area too, but there's a door there. Oh, just some fencing here. Or is that a door? That's a piece of fencing. Okay. That's crazy how that was entry to the mall. See here, they don't have the colors up there. Still the fascia though. This will be gone soon. Be gone soon. See over here where Dillard's was at. Remember that like kind of off-white, that pink. I wonder if there's part of people actually saw as part of the walls inside, or if this is just the back area. That little wall up there by that entryway, that fake wall up there. Yeah, right where that entry was for the Dillard's. It's right in there. Yep, because that wall is where the one side of the entryway was. That's interesting. Yeah, go over here, get some shots over here. Macy's in here too. Their little architecture in the front there. This thing's coming down. It's just interesting how long ago these buildings were built. And they tried to modernize the outside of it a little bit, like they did with the mall here, try to modernize it. When it used to be a nicer way it used to be before they modernized it and made it look like every other mall in the whole country. Almost in the whole world, but I know malls are different in the world. So, but yeah, let's zoom in here, and this is really cool looking in here. So try to keep steady as I can. But that's interesting. This second story. The upper floor, the upper level. And I think what's interesting right here is that wall was where the ice skating, roller skating ring used to be, and then they closed it up. I'm still kind of curious what it looked like before they, closed it up. Like after it was closed, what did it look like in that side of there, I'm wondering. And you still see on the right, on the left there, see part of the entryway door. Where's left of the door there? So that's the back side of the main entry of the mall. And then we got this over here. I still think it's interesting, that slab, many people walked on that because that was the lower level for the Dillards. Still think it's interesting that right here was the road where it came around. Which is interesting, that was the road down there, right here. That's interesting, it was a road for mall, kind of taking a side shot there. Yeah, it's just interesting how this was an entryway to a mall. So I think it's interesting, the little pieces of steel sticking out of the concrete there. But that is interesting that was inside of a Dillard's. You know, they made them all nice and classy. A lot of work went into making me build these places. Yeah, and there's part of Sears right there. So it's interesting getting to see all these different entryways, like the entryway there, and then the entryway on the inside, then the entryway here, and then this entryway over here. Crazy. Interesting, that little section of wall is what's left of the back part here. Yeah. I figure this would be the last shot of the video here. Interesting, you see that entry, JCPenney. Look how small it looks now. So the sun is going down, so sorry about the weird lighting factor here. Usually you can see the stairs over there, where the Dillard's was. It's interesting because when you look at it this way, it just looks like the mall's still actively going. Look at it like this point. And you can see that water truck here, or the tanker. But that's just interesting. That's the Sears right there. And the entrance part, there was a mall right there. So I'm gonna end the video here. So thanks for watching, and have a good day or good evening wherever you are. Thanks for watching. See you again next time. Bye bye for now.